Algebra 1, 5-2, solving inequalities by multiplication and division. So again, this is very much like equations. Remember, what you do to one side of the inequality symbol you must also do to the other side. All right, now, this is what we already know. We're going to do a couple examples here, and then we're going to learn a little bit of a trick pretty soon, having to do with inequalities, multiplying and dividing inequalities. But let's do some examples here. 8n is less than or equal to 16. We're going to do, I'm just going to list out a few examples here. 3x is greater than 18. Let's just do those two then. Now, I want I want n to be by itself here. So I'm going to divide both sides by 8. N is less than or equal to 16 divided by 8, which is 2. I'm going to graph this. Here's 0, here's 2. N is less than or equal to, so I'm going to have a solid dot there, less than 2, so I'm going to draw my arrow that direction. For this inequality, I'm going to divide both sides by 3, so I have 1x. X is greater than 6. Here's 0, here's 6. 6 is not included in my solutions. X is greater than 6, I'm going to shade to the right. You try this one. 4x is less than 5. Go ahead and do that one. It's okay if it's a fraction. Pause and solve this inequality. Go. All right, let's see how you did. I'm going to divide both sides by 4. X is less than 5/4. And 5/4 is 1, excuse me, and 1/4. That makes it a little bit easier to graph it if you rewrite it as a mixed number instead of an improper fraction. Here's 0, here is 1, here's 1 1/4. And I'm going to draw an open circle because I don't have or equals. X is less than 1 1/4. There we go. Let's do another example. 1/2 x is less than 5. So just like with an equation, I need to multiply both sides by the reciprocal of this fraction that's next to my x here. So I need to multiply by 2 over 1. And what I do to one side, I do to the other. 2 times 1 is 2, over 1 times 2, so 2 over 2 is 1. So I've got 1x. 5 times 2 divided by 1 is 10. X is less than 10. Draw my graph. Here's 0, here's 10. Open circle. X is less than 10. You try. 1/4 x is greater than or equal to 5. So go ahead and pause and do this work. Make sure you graph it. Let's see how you do. Go. All right. I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, so 4/1, so that I can have 1x. 4/4x, which is 1x, is greater than or equal to 5 times 4 divided by 1 is 20. Here's 0. Here's 20. I've got a closed circle. X is greater than 20. All right, we're going to do some more examples. 3/4 a is greater than 8. So I, again, have to use the same principle as I did on these last couple, where I need to be 1a here, and in order to get 1a, I've got to multiply by the reciprocal. And what I do to one side, I do to the other side. So 4 times 3 is 12, 3 times 4 is 12, 12 divided by 12 is 1. 1a is greater than 8 times 4 is 32. 32 divided by 3, oh goodness, 32/3, which is a is greater than 10 2/3. Yucky. You can graph it anyways. Here's 0. Here is 10 2/3. 10 2/3 is not included in my solution, so I have an open circle. A is greater than, so I have a shade to the right. You try this one. 3/7 r is less than 21. I'm going to give you two U-tries. Do that one and then this one. 2/3 x is less than or equal to 8. Okay, you've got this U-try and this U-try, and you get to go ahead and pause and get to work on both of these. Go. All right, let's look at this one over here on the right. I need 1r, so I'm going to multiply by the reciprocal, 7/3. What I do to one side, I do to the other side. 7/3 times 3/7 is 1, so r is less than 21 times 7 divided by 3, or 21 divided by 3 is 7. 7 times 7 is 49. R is less than 49. Here's 0. Here's 49. I have an open circle because 49 is not included in my solution set for R. So that's what that one should look like. For this one, I need to multiply by the reciprocal, both sides, 3/2. 6/6 is 1. 1x is less than or equal to 8 divided by 2, which is 4. 4 times 3 is 12. X is less than 12, less than or equal to. So I have a solid circle, and x is less than or equal to 12. All right, let's keep going. Just a little bit left here. Here is the thing that really separates inequalities from equations. Multiplying and dividing with negative numbers. All right, so here is the part where we really start doing something a little bit different here. Here's an example. I've got negative 2x is less than or equal to 10. I want this x to be by itself, or to be 1x. In order to do that, I need to multiply both sides by negative 2. When I multiply or divide anything, any negative number from both sides, or to both sides, then I have to flip my inequality sign. So my inequality is going to switch from less than or equal to greater than or equal to. X is greater than or equal to negative 5. So if I was going to graph that, here's negative 5, here's 0, and x is greater than or equal to, so I'm going to shade that direction. Let's do another one. Negative 4n, n is greater than 16. So I'm going to divide both sides by negative 4. And when I do that, I divided both sides by negative 4. I need to switch my sign. N is, I didn't even switch it. N is less than negative 4. 16 divided by negative 4 is negative 4. So I find 0, negative 4, open circle, N is less than, shaded to the left. Here's another example. 5a is less than negative 10. So I'm going to divide both sides by 5. A is something to negative 2. Now, I've got a negative on this side, but I divided by a positive number, so I have to decide, am I going to switch my sign here? And the answer is no, I am not going to switch my sign, because notice with this one, I divided by a positive number. For these two, I divided by a negative number, and therefore I had to switch my sign. But I divided by a positive, even though I have a negative over here on this side, that doesn't matter. What I divided by both sides, or what I divided from both sides, was a positive, so I leave my sign the way it is. And so if I were to graph this, I would go 0, negative 2, open circle, a is less than, boom, there we go. Okay, so I got 2 U tries, and then we are done for this lesson. Negative 3x is less than or equal to 12, and negative 3 halves n is greater than 9. All right, do those two. Decide if you need to switch the sign when you do your multiplication or division, and go ahead and pause and get to work. All right, for this one here, I'm going to divide both sides by negative 3 so that I have 1x on this side. X is greater than or equal to negative 4. I divided both sides by negative 3, so I needed to switch my sign. I needed to flip it. And so I've got 0, I've got negative 4. Negative 4 is included. X is greater than negative 4. Solid dot to the right. Excuse me. Last one, I need to multiply by negative 2 over 3. So I'm going to multiply both sides by negative 2 over 3, which is the reciprocal of negative 3 halves. And so this becomes 1n. I need to flip my sign because I'm multiplied by a negative number. 9 divided by 3 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. Negative 6. 0. Negative 6. Open circle because negative 6 is not included and is less than. There we go. And that is 5-2.